Bueno, negro, bienvenido. Capítulo número 3, Supersize vs Superskinny. Vamos a darle.
Each week, a Superskinny is entering this feeding clinic and swapping their diet with a Supersizer. Overseeing this radical overhaul in their feeding habits is Dr. Christian Jessen.
I'm hoping this shock tactic will encourage
Dr.
you
Christian
to form healthier eating habits.
On the surface, Amy Jo has a body to die for.
Ah, este me lo acuerdo. A ver,
if she doesn't change her
me lo acuerdo el de la minita.
lifestyle, it's a body to die in.
15 años que no miro esto.
Her seemingly flawless figure is the result of a strict diet and intense exercise regime. Looking good is her obsession, but at what cost?
I see a lot of women like Amy Jo who think they have a perfect body, but what they don't realise is they could actually be putting their health at serious risk.
At 5'7", Amy Jo should weigh around 9.5 stone.
Okay.
About 7.5 stone. Around the back.
In fact, she's a staggering 2 stone underweight.
So you are 24 inches. Come with me. I've worked out that your BMI is 16. In a healthy BMI is from 20 to 25. It essentially works out how much actual mass there is in your body and whether your weight is appropriate to your height. 16 is not ideal.
Wow, that's quite a shock. I didn't realise it was that low.
Why is it like that?
I don't really know. I thought I was just extra healthy and just ate all the right foods, but clearly I don't.
27-year-old events organizer Amy Jo appears to lead a normal and conventional life with her fiancé Andy
la familia.
and her 4.5-year-old daughter Megan. But when it comes to dinner time at home, she's dishing herself up a potentially damaging diet.
If I'm cooking a meal for the other guys, then they'll obviously have carbs and they'll have pasta and potatoes, but I'll skip the carbohydrate part of the meal and just have the vegetables and the fish.
If you've been out the night before, if she's been out and eaten a big meal with everybody, she will consciously go and
Best
run
friend.
down the gym. She doesn't stop, she just keeps going.
Ok, esta parecía la anterior, a la del capítulo 2. Todo sanito, ejercicio por
The
ahora.
exercise that I do is quite kind of a lot of cardio,
She's always down the gym. She'll drop Meg off at school. She'll be down the gym.
but it makes me feel really good about myself, and the next day I wake up and I feel
Ah,
like
bueno.
I've got more energy and
Ejercicio zarpado.
to do stuff.
In someone who is as fit and active as Amy Jo, she's
Ya,
actually
un
doing
quilombo
herself
subir
a
eso.
real disservice and affecting her athletic performance by cutting carbs out from her diet.
It's time for a shock tactic. Amy Jo is about to get a heavyweight opponent.
Ok. Ahora viene el
My
otro.
ultimate nightmare for a diet partner would be junk food, fizzy drinks, chips, burgers, chocolate.
Este es el otro.
Her Supersize partner, Andy from Preston, outscales all Amy Jo's
A la
tiny
mierda.
proportions,
Jump on there for me.
Buah, amigo.
starting with his weight.
That's about 35
¿Cuánto decía? ¿Cuánto decía?
Starting with his weight.
220 kilos.
35 stone.
No me la counter strike.
Andy's thigh is 6 inches bigger than Amy Jo's waist. There's a massive 27.5
locura.
stone difference between these two, and they're about to swap diets meal for meal.
How do you feel about sharing now this week with one of these very underweight people and swapping their diets and things?
I'm very nervous.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know. Just because of obviously the portions are going to be a lot lower. The fear of being constantly hungry, but I also see it as a way
¿No se parece a Boogie? Boogie es un youtuber de Estados Unidos, me parece. Boogie es parecido.
forward and something that's going to change my life dramatically.
And finally, it's time for Supersize to face up to Superskinny.
Feeling very apprehensive about the whole thing, quite scared, because I obviously don't know what the other person's like.
I'm really nervous at this moment in time. I really don't know what to expect.
Hello!
Pleased to meet you. I'm Andy.
Amy, nice to meet you.
I'm 32. I'm from Preston.
Ok.
I've got 4 children and I've been married for 8 years. Sorry, I didn't expect you. You look really thin. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at your wrist. Your wrist looks so tiny. Can I get my whole hand around you? Of course you can.
La minita dentro de todo no está tan mal, pero bueno, está un toque muy...
First impressions, go on, be honest. Shocked.
Los huesos, acá, los huesos.
Yeah,
Me mata eso, qué asco. O sea, a ver, qué asco. Es como me acosa.
Just a shock. It was really, really strange and bizarre. I've never met anyone that's that big before. And I think he was quite shocked with my appearance as well, and especially I think my stomach and my wrists.
I didn't expect you to look so sort of midriff, so thin, so tiny. I think her upper arm is probably the same size as my wrist. It was just a complete shock. It's not what I expected at all. I think I'll struggle with her diet, but I think with my diet she will definitely struggle.
The diet swap will give both Amy Jo and Andy serious food for thought. But first, there's an eye-popping surprise in store to highlight the difference between their
Tubos.
weekly food intakes
Tubos, claro que sí.
to shock them into shape.
Vamos, los tubos.
You think your diet's a good, healthy, balanced one, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
Let's have a look at what you get through for breakfast during the course of the week, all right? I think
Bien,
you had
¿qué es
one
eso?
portion of scrambled eggs and toast, which is good, but you tend to only get
¿Cómo es?
through a bowl of cereal, don't you, in the morning?
Yeah.
I want
¿Qué
to
es
have a
eso,
look at what you
avena?
tend to get through for lunches during the course of a week, okay? It tends to be a piece of ham or a stick of celery or two, doesn't it? There's not
Pará, el desayuno era como avena o cereal, alguna mierda así. ¿Y ahora qué mierda
a
es?
lot that's going to keep you going
Jamón,
very long, is there? Let's have a look
jamón,
at what you tend to have
pepino.
for dinners. So tuna, and you like your soups.
Jamón, pepino y cosas verdes y eso debe ser sopa.
I don't really have a problem with all these sorts of foods. This is all good, but there's not enough starchy food there. Andy, what do you think?
That's more like a day, I think, than a week.
The average woman's
Yo ni en pedo pongo eso.
recommended intake is 2,000 calories a day, and with her rigorous exercise
Ok, necesita 2000. Para, no entendí.
regime,
Estamos viendo lo de siempre. Necesita 2000, pero como hace ejercicios, la minita está tan intensamente y toda la boludez, 2400. Y
Amy Jo
consume
should be eating at least 2,400. She's actually
1700.
consuming just 1,700.
Bueno, ¿ves? Tampoco hay una diferencia. Bueno, hay una diferencia grande. Pero. Bueno, por eso tampoco se ve mal la minita, digamos. Está bien. Pero bueno.
100 calories, so she's under eating nearly 5 days worth of food every
Claro.
week. Her body is missing out on vital carbohydrates, something that won't be a problem when she takes on Supersize Andy's diet.
Bacon
Okay,
rolls,
ahora viene.
lots of this milk, so loads of calories in that. Okay, nice, buttery, full
Pa,
fat
¿qué
pastry.
mierda es
Lots
eso?
of
No sé qué
carbohydrate
es.
in the pastry. Yeah. Where are we up to now, would you say?
This is my tea.
You snack as well between your meals, don't you?
Che, ¿cuándo pasó todo eso? ¿Cuándo pasó todo eso? No sé, pura mierda. No, papas fritas, de todo. No, una banda. Pará, pero ¿cuándo pasó todo eso? Che, la recortaron ahí, bueno, yo no tengo la culpa.
A lot of crisps.
No, todo eso son snacks. O sea, todo eso son papas fritas y mierdas.
An average man should be consuming 2,500 calories a
2500?
day, whereas Andy's getting through almost 3 times that amount.
No.
That's a staggering
No, amigo.
49,000 calories
Buah.
every week, or an overeat of 14 days.
La locura.
So shake each other's hand.
7000 es muchísimo. Mirá la cantidad de...
And we're going to go for it from now on, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Coming up, Amy Jo gets supersized.
I reckon I might put on a stone in that meal.
No.
And they're
Okay.
doing this by swapping diets.
Ahí
It's their
cambian.
first breakfast.
Ok. 2 sanguchitos
And for
con
Andy, it's
alguna mierda y eso debe ser avena
a
con
small
leche.
bowl of low-calorie cereal.
Low calorie cereal.
There's a lot less there than I would normally eat for my breakfast. But
Cereal con leche.
time will tell really whether I start to feel hungry very quickly. At the moment, I don't actually. I don't feel full.
And for Amy Jo, it's toast, toast, and more toast.
Toast and more toast. Una banda de tostada con queso, supongo que será eso.
My stomach feels like it's just going.
My stomach
Feels like it's kind of opening up to make room for all the bread that's going in.
Ok.
After just one carb-filled feast, Amy Jo's feeling more bread than alive.
I feel like I've got a little bit of overhang here, which I probably have actually.
Que sí,
It
que
needs to,
sí,
yeah,
boluda.
it needs to expand, ready for the next load that's going to go in.
But when it comes to oversized amounts of food, Supersize Andy is a connoisseur.
Thanks very much.
He's spent most of his life on a high-sugar, high-snack and fat-fueled binge.
Even as a small child growing up, the diet wasn't the greatest.
Ahí están mostrando un toque de la vida del chabón.
Got to sort of my mum. She used to cook everything with lard and cooking fat. You do realise that right from the word go was setting the wrong diet in place for me.
Andy's love of saturated fat
No,
means
no,
that
no.
crisps form an important
Ahí están todas las papas fritas y todas las cosas. Mirá, todo bolsas por todos lados. A ver, es para la mierda, ¿no? Del video, pero claro, todo eso lo consume.
cornerstone of his diet.
My favourite food is definitely crisps and snacks, but I do enjoy a good curry and any sort of takeaway food, sort of the wrong things for you.
Salchicha.
Anything takeaway I love. My weight's really started to have a big impact on my life, and especially with my children. I can't interact with them as much as I'd like to. I want to put
Qué
that
garrón,
right.
¿ve? El chabón ve a los nenitos y no puede jugar con los nenes. ¿Cómo hace? No puede jugar con sus propios hijos. Es una...
The way I feel at the minute is things aren't going to get better, and I've tried to talk to him, I've tried to
Qué pena.
and I've basically just said to him that there's two paths that you're going to take now. At one end of the path
Esa es la
is
mujer.
me and the children, and you know we want you, and at the other end of the crossroads is a coffin.
But for now, it's Amy Jo who's tucking into Andy's bad diet of a
La
nice
cara-
greasy. But for now,
la cara
it's
de la
Amy
mina.
Jo who's tucking into Andy's bad diet of a nice greasy takeaway.
No, mirá. Son tortillas con pollo, con carne, con arroz. Y esta que tiene un plato de macarrones con dos mierditas.
Amy Jo's cooked up a family favorite
Mirá la
pasta
cantidad.
with ratatouille. But just like she does, Andy will have to do without the carbs.
So unfortunately, you
Wow,
can't
mira
actually
ese
have
plato.
pasta.
Okay.
Because I skip the pasta and just have that.
Ah, mira, encima le dice... No, pará, la pasta no, me equivoqué. Hija de puta. No sé qué le dijo, como que no. Como que se la saltea o no sé, algo así.
As it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
No entendí por qué la hizo cocinar y se le hizo poner en el plato y ahora se la saca, pero... Para mí, como no entiendo una mierda de inglés, supongo que dijo como que se la cocina pero nunca la termina comiendo. Por ahí estoy diciendo cualquier mierda, pero vos créeme.
It was a big shock when the pasta was taken away. It's not something I would ever have eaten. Just
No,
because
eso es
it looks so
verdura nada más.
tomatoey.
Es verdura con
One of
tuco.
My things is I don't particularly like tomatoey things.
No me la contés.
That is just like
Claro.
my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Es que mirá, es todo tan consistente eso.
Is it all onion?
Cada bocado es una roca.
How does it feel?
No
actually
puede,
eating
ves
that?
esta cara. Quiero remarcar esta cara. Qué mal la estoy pasando.
How does it feel actually eating that many carbs for you? You don't know.
Feels quite strange actually because I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I think that actually that whole naan would just fill me up.
Yeah, just on its own.
That's a meal in itself to me. That was horrible. I didn't enjoy that at all. It was just not the meal that I'd ever have actually. I don't think I can eat anymore. I think I'm done.
I'm
it
done.
was stodgy and just, it was just awful.
Ven, no lo puedo terminar.
And I keep burping from it. It was really horrible.
Eso quiso decir, me parece. Como que
Straight
quería
after
eructar.
dinner, Andy heads up to Amy's room to give her a surprise.
Ok, acá vienen los snacks.
Hi.
Ay.
It's snack time, I'm afraid. That's what I'd normally have.
Oh, no.
I'm afraid.
So I was just sitting here thinking how sick I felt as well.
Un
I
snack.
could tell when I actually took the snack to her, it was like a look of, oh no, I can't believe there's anything else.
No puede más.
Seriously, have that huge meal and then have
I love
crisps.
them, yeah.
Doesn't appeal to me at all. And it's making me feel quite ill at the moment because even if I was starving hungry, I wouldn't choose to eat them.
Esto no es lo de los Simpson. ¿Cómo se llamaba? No me acuerdo, pará.
Because even if I was starving hungry, I wouldn't choose to eat them.
Pretzels. Pretzels. No son
And
pretzels.
it's making me feel quite ill
Esto. Parece que son
at the
pretzels.
moment because even if I was starving hungry, I wouldn't choose to eat them.
I thought I'd actually find.
Ah, acá ya empieza.
Sorry. I've sort of realised that my
Mira
lifestyle
cómo lo come así.
and the
De a
effect
uno.
of the amount I have to eat by asking someone else to eat that, the effect it's having on them, it's really sort of, well, upsetting me because I'm doing what I am to Amy, and she's having to eat all this food that she physically can't eat.
Yeah, I definitely can't have any more.
Anymore, pa.
Just so
No
full
puedo
up,
más.
it's just not going in, and I'm trying to eat all these snacks. I just can't do it. It's still not swaying me towards the whole.
Claro, no puede
carbohydrate
comer.
thing,
No puede.
Just because it's just
Lógico.
en mass, so I think it's
Basta.
steering me
Siempre.
away from it more at the moment.
And what better way to help
Okay.
her train her body into eating starchy foods than another day on Andy's diet?
Ah, van a comer a un
Lunch is
lugar.
double trouble as Amy Jo gets an extra helping of ham and cheese toasties.
Ok. Este es como un lugar que va el chabón a comer, ¿no? No sé por qué digo esto si supuestamente es muy obvio, pero yo lo aclaro, no me importa. Y le intercambia la comida, como un lugar para ir a comer y le
Well,
intercambia.
Andy has to make
Claro, lo que se comería la minita y lo que se comería
do
el
with
chabón.
an apple and a punnet of blueberries.
Una manzana y arándanos. Oh, los arándanos están buenísimos. Pasa que taca taca.
I've never actually tried a blueberry. Totally different from anything I would
Y la otra, dos
thought, to be
sanguchotes.
perfectly honest. And my palate just seems so fresh because it's all the juice and all the fresh taste that are going in.
Claro, nada.
I don't feel full like
Es
I normally
agua.
would do because when I'm full, I know I've really eaten a meal. So I don't feel like that, but I'm far from starving. I don't feel hungry, so you know it's a strange feeling, but I'm quite happy with it.
But Amy Jo is still finding carbs hard to swallow.
Más
First one was
sándwiches.
okay, but the second one I was struggling, so I was just kind of eating it really quickly, just so I could get it down me before I could rest and think about it. Otherwise, there's no way I could have had the second one.
Starchy carbs are the
Mira todo
body's
lo que
main
dejó.
source of energy and vital for good health. At least 50% of every meal should contain carbs of some kind. Good examples of nutritious carbs are potatoes, rice and pasta.
Ok,
It's dinner time for Amy Jo and
dinner
Andy.
time.
For Andy, it's a roast, and for Amy Jo, it's a large bowl of crisps and breadsticks.
Ok.
Just had about
Eso está buenísimo.
breadsticks
Ah, ¿ves? Acá. Oh, me mata eso.
and another 2 packets of crisps.
Esos palitos con eso que es como mayonesa con cositos verdes.
And boring and
Lo mojas así.
never ending. And yeah, it was disgusting. Okay, I'm there.
No, qué disgusting, qué disgusting. ¡Eh!
Small touch.
¿Lo bajó todo?
But what Amy Jo doesn't realise is that her banquet
¿Verdad?
of breadsticks and crisps was just a snack. The main event is still to come.
Ok, el snack.
Fully loaded, extra large, heavy load, tasty feel. What you always want, isn't it? How do I eat this? I think I've only ever had cake.
Una hamburguesita como para cortar la tarde.
Fried chicken about 30 times in my life.
Ah, no, es pollo.
Amy
Es
Jo is embracing
KFC.
the swap.
I don't feel as bad as I thought I was going to feel, but I do feel really full.
But she's wondering how Andy's coping with his empty plate.
If I offered you some of this now, what would you say?
I'm not tempted at all, to be perfectly honest. If it was placed in front of me, I could quite happily just walk away from it.
Yeah.
Which is strange, I would never have said that before.
I'm done. I'm finished. I can't do any more.
It's amazing how quickly the body can adapt. Andy's discovering he can eat much less, and by cutting out the high sugar, high salt foods, he's rediscovering his taste buds. Amy Jo's learning how to relax and be less controlling about her food.
Coming up, Andy is taken on a mystery trip.
Quite nervous, really. I'm feeling a bit apprehensive.
Ah, lo lleva al gimnasio. Ok,
It's the final morning of the swap, and it's the last breakfast.
la nueva
Amy
mañana.
Jo is faced
Ok, para, quiero verlo, la concha de la lora.
and it's the last breakfast. Amy
O sea, todo esto se va a solucionar cuando sean los episodios más adelante que se va a ver en HD. Es un sándwich de jamón crudo con 2 huevos fritos.
Jo is faced with a full English,
Tremendo sándwich.
and she's determined to crack it.
I'm not going to be defeated by this. Won't be
Y la
defeated
otra
by
cereal
this.
con leche.
And Andy is having a
Nada
bowl
que
of
ver, todo totalmente distinto.
low-calorie cereal. People who eat a cereal breakfast are less likely to be overweight than those who skip it, as whole grain breakfast cereals are generally low in sugar, salt, and fat. Cereals set you up for the day, and their high fiber content means that hunger pangs are kept at bay. After breakfast, what better way for Andy to expend his energy and Amy Jo to work off her excess calories than a
Ahora van al
trip to the gym?
gimnasio.
Quite nervous, really. I'm feeling a bit apprehensive, to be honest.
Grueling workouts are a huge part of Amy Jo's life. She wants to show Andy, who hasn't exercised for 10 years, how to go for the burn.
Feels good.
Energetic is the word.
A core part of Amy Jo's regime is running. She wants Andy, who drives everywhere, to go from tubby to Jim Bunny on the treadmill.
How you feeling, Andy?
Surprisingly good, actually.
At nearly 35 stone, Andy should only walk at a low intensity in short bursts. So before you try hitting
Alta
the
zapa.
gym, make sure your doctor gives you the all clear.
I actually feel really invigorated. Surprising, I was really apprehensive when I first came in, but I'm surprised myself. You know, if I thought about walking distance for 15 minutes or to get from here to A to B, I just wouldn't have done it. I'd have jumped in the car, but that was just so, I don't know, uplifting. It was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it.
After an intense workout, it's
Okay.
time for their last supper, and Amy Jo is chomping at the bit for her burger and chips. After years of restricting her diet,
Una sopa,
her
una
attitudes
hamburguesa,
to
la
food
otra.
are finally changing.
Is it something you never think of sort of treating yourself to once in a
Con unas frutillas y un par de mierda.
Yeah, I'd have these because they're quite thin, aren't they?
Andy
Una
gets
Big
to
Mac
whet
con
his
papa.
appetite with a bowl of soup. And there's no holding back Amy Jo.
I'm getting quite good at this. I just had 3 chips at once.
It gets rid of them quicker.
Yeah, multitasking now. Yes, I'm the winner.
Bien, bien,
Andy's
bien.
also taken a diet U-turn.
You're going to hate me now, but I'm going to shake. I really am full.
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally
You've had
feel
enough?
I can't, yeah.
Yeah, no, don't eat it then if you
Really
feel,
sorry.
if you feel like, you know,
Yeah, I really
letting the
do.
team
I'm
down,
really-
that's fine.
Ah, dice, oh, estoy lleno, le dice el gordo.
I wouldn't have just laughed at you at the beginning.
Pero porque está comiendo mierda para él.
For being silly.
O sea,
It's brilliant that Andy didn't finish his food. He didn't. I think he still had about half a bowl of soup left. I just think that's hilarious. I managed to finish a burger and chips and some chicken nuggets, and Andy couldn't finish any soup.
acá dice, yo lo terminé todo y él no lo terminó, me están cagando, ¿qué me están cargando? Claro, igual era una banda de sopa y eso, bueno, como que te agranda el estómago, ¿no? Te hace como, guapa, qué lleno que estoy, pero mentira.
It was excellent. I'm finished and you're not.
I know, but I'm full, so there we go. We both win.
And I'm not. I'm all right.
With Dr.
Okay.
Jackson.
If
Conclusiones
you were gonna
finales.
give AJ one useful bit of advice to go off with now and really succeed in what she's trying to do, what would it be?
Really, just not to be afraid of food, just to enjoy it, because it'll enhance your life as well.
Yeah.
And what about you? What would you like to say to Andy to help him now?
Same kind of thing, really. Don't be kind of scared about trying different, you know, flavours, and just keep up the exercise, and you can do it.
Do you think you will do it?
Definitely.
I've got for you, Andy, your diet plan. That's
La
on
carpetita.
free, and this is what you're going to be on for the next 3 months.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and that's your one. There's no ridiculous exclusions. It's not some crazy fatty diet. You can eat what you like. You just need to be careful about how much of various things you're eating. Now you've got to go off and you've got to do this for yourselves. Okay, and this is where it gets hard. This is where you've got to have the self-discipline. So I don't want you to fail after this. I would be so disappointed. Stick to it. And when I see you in 3 months, I really want to see big changes in both of you. Okay, guys? So please don't let me down.
Ok, no me abandonen. O alguna pierda tú
This experience
decir.
probably has changed my life quite a bit, actually, because
Bien.
I'm really excited about going home and doing my new diet and eating practically what I like, really what I want to eat, and I can have some crisps, and I know it's not going to have a huge impact on me because I've had about 20 bags of crisps this week and it's been all right. I think Andy is just a changed man. He's just gone from having 7,000 calories to
Me queda re bien, gordo. Tiene una jeta, como me hace acordar a Boogie.
He hasn't moved.
Bueno, Boogie creo que tuvo quilombo ahora.
This experiment
Sí, está como
saved my life.
bombardo.
I feel much more positive about the future. I'm looking forward to getting home.
Pero antes Boogie era un cago de risa.
And moving on with my life and making it better for everyone.
No sé qué mierda dijo
Andy
que
and Amy
lo
Jo
cagaron a
have
pedo.
both thrown themselves into the swap with gusto, but their journey is only just beginning.
Ok, ahí se van. Ok.
How are you? Lovely to see you. How's it going?
It's all been going really well, yeah.
Mira, acá acá hay una cosa que yo creo que me acuerdo. A ver si no me equivoco, creo que era en este capítulo. Yo me acuerdo que la minita con el Dr. Christian como que se miraban muy... Opa, 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 mira, mira, mira. Yo sé que hay una parte.
Well, Amy Jo certainly looks fantastic.
Wow, that looks fantastic.
But has she managed to get herself up to a more healthy weight?
Hey, how are you? You look wonderful.
Amy Jo's reunited with diet swap partner Andy to share the results.
You look really well.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you can't see yet. Oh, you look brilliant. Well done.
So do you now. I can see your shoulders. Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to put you out of your misery and talk to you about how you've done. Do you remember how much you weighed when we first met?
Just over 7.5 stone.
It was. It's 7 stone 7. And now you are
Mira, mira.
7 stone. And now
Porque la cara de Dr. Christian, boludo.
7 stone 12. You really are. You put on 5 pounds. So it really is working.
She's also put on
Sí, para
3 inches
mí,
around the
Dr.
waist
Christian
and
ahí,
an inch and a
ahí
half
picó.
on the thigh, which means she's now got a figure to be really proud of.
La minita es hermosa.
You've got that very beautiful feminine figure, and I'm really, really excited because I was worried
Mira,
about
mira,
doing
mira,
a
mira.
very beautiful
Contacto,
feminine figure,
contacto,
and
acabo
I'm
contacto.
really excited.
Mira, acá hay contacto, mira, acá dice cómo te la voy a poner en la noche. Acá hay contacto, pa. Acá hay contacto, mirá,
I was
mirá.
worried about you, and you've done it, so I'm delighted.
Andy has learned how to enjoy new healthy types of food, but is his new diet reflected in the weighing scales?
Do you remember what you weighed?
Ok, mira, en este lo habíamos visto, era 220. A ver cuánto está ahora.
What?
34 stone 8.
Now you're 31 stone 5.
Wow.
Decímelo.
Amazing.
That's brilliant.
You have lost 3
What's on 5?
3 pounds.
That's just wonderful.
Are you happy?
I'm over the moon, yeah.
You know what the biggest difference for me is? Look at that
No, no me
smile
digas
on
que no me
his
va a
face.
decir, boludo.
You're glowing.
Hello.
Dijo que perdió 1 stone 5. O sea, una stone creo que lo googleé el otro día, creo que son 40 kilos. Guarda, no, es una banda.
To be honest, no, I don't even recognise myself.
No, estoy diciendo
I look back
pelotudeces.
3 months ago to the Andy I was. That's not me. That's just something.
¿Por qué no lo
that
muestran en la balanza?
didn't exist anymore. The new Andy is alive. Really looking forward to every day. It's just been a complete revelation. I don't eat the things that I used to at all. The crisp I've not touched since the day I left the house. So yeah, it just makes me feel wonderful that I've chosen the right path and I'm just going to continue along it.
It just made a huge impact on my life as well, and I've got loads more energy. I went running the other day and I kind of run for about an hour and a half, and there's no way I could have done that before. I do feel like I'm more womanly, and my boobs they're huge. That's the best bit about it, it's all gone on my boobs. I think the weight, the 5 pounds, has gone into these little bad boys.
Basta de hacer enfoque en las tetas.
I think we've really proven a point with Amy Jo that carbs are not all bad. By relaxing her diet, she's able to run further than she's ever done before.
Bueno, igual no
and she
estuvo
looks
tan
fantastic.
enfocado como en los anteriores. Bien.
If you're affected by any issues raised in this program and would like more info, then log on to www.channel4.co.uk/.
Ok. Bueno, negro. Terminó Supersize vs Superskinny Season 1, episodio 3. Claro que sí, campeón. Este me lo acordaba. Y me lo acordaba por eso. Porque había cierta... A ver, es una pelotudez, ¿no? Pero era como que con el Dr. Christian habían ahí caritas raras. Pero bueno, negro. Nada. Nos vimos en Disneylandia, claro que sí. Próximo episodio del 4. Y nada, no mucho más que decir. Nos vemos en Disney. Pa, besito en la colita. Que ahora crecí.